So suddenly it's super hot here in Ohio. That's usually what happens. Last week it was sleet and snow and freezing temperatures, and today it's at least 86 and it's very hot in the sun. So I retreated to the one spot of shade that I have in the garden right now, which is down here over the hill behind my fruit trees. And this also happens to be the compost area, which I'll show you here real quick. There's some fresh compost. Here's some that's been there a year, another super fresh pile, and then some older stuff over there. But I thought I would talk about weeds again. If you watch my other video, Weeds Are Relative, you will know a lot about how I feel about weeds. A weed is a plant in the wrong place. In one place it might be good, in another place it's bad. So down here over the hill, it's quite a bit wilder, at least surface level, because it can be. I don't really have to do anything about these plants down here because the main crop is fruit. I have 2 pears, and on the other side over there there's a peach tree. So these plants growing down here, if they were up in the main part of the garden, they would be weeds and I would be all over them, getting them out of there, because they would create less of a harvest for me. So the violets and the ground ivy, super aggressive. That's pretty much pure ground ivy and violet right there. You can talk all you want about these being edible, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. They are everywhere. They are some of the most aggressive plants that we have. And this is really good soil down here because despite it being kind of a not so important area of the garden, I have added quite a bit of compost and wood chips over the years, so this is good soil. But that doesn't matter to ground ivy and violets. Normal succession would be, as you improve the soil, you start seeing the more desirable plants. So that is what we're hoping for in a lot of cases. Down here, the ground ivy and the violets have taken over, and they don't care. They'll grow anywhere. They're just super successful. Other plants, it's more relative. Garlic chives, I encourage down here. They are super aggressive up there in my herb bed. They just started taking over the entire bed, so I banished them down here. Down here, they're great to have. They're beautiful. You can eat them. They have a nice flower in the fall when not a lot of other things are flowering. There's also Goji Berry down here, which is super aggressive and not that useful in my opinion. That's some right there. Some berry canes that may or not be desirable. A lot of the wild ones look just like the cultivars, and you can't really tell until they fruit. So I've left those. There's other things down here like the dead nettle, which is extremely common in spring gardens. I don't really care. I can't control it. It would be silly to try, so I just let it go. And the same with this bitter cress. So down here, it's kind of a free-for-all, but over time, I will encourage the more aggressive but desirable plants. So in addition to the garlic chives, I'll be encouraging this monarda, which can be very aggressive in a bed, but down here, it's good. There's another goji berry. Another thing that works down here is this Perennial Arugula. Makes a big clump, seeds itself, and doesn't die in the winter. So I don't really want it up in the main part of the garden, but down here, it's perfect. And just to give you an overview of this area. There you go.